Welcome to the Smart Business Revolution.
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 You want a revolution?
You say you want a revolution?
Revolution. The revolution.
It's going on right now.
Welcome to The Revolution, the Smart Business Revolution podcast, where we ask today's most successful entrepreneurs to share the tools and strategies they use to build relationships and connections to grow their revenue. Now, your host for The Revolution, John Corcoran.
Hey, everybody. This is John Corcoran with Dr. Jeremy Wise, and this episode is a little bit different. This is a live interview that we recorded at the Global Leadership Conference from Entrepreneurs Organization, where some of the best entrepreneurs from around the globe gathered in Washington, D.C. to share ideas and to learn about entrepreneurship. And of course, this episode is brought to you by Rise 25, where we help B2B businesses to give to and to connect to their Dream 100 relationships and partnerships, helping you to run a podcast so that it generates a referral pipeline and ROI.
Yeah, I mean, John, after both of us have been podcasting for over a decade, the number one thing in our life is relationships. And we're always looking at ways to give to our best relationships. And we found no better way to do that over the past decade than to profile the people and companies we admire and shout from the rooftops what they're working on. And this interview is no different. So if you've thought about podcasting, you should go to rise25.com to learn more, or email us at support@rise25.com.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the interview.
Enjoy.
John Corcoran here. We are live from the Global Leadership Conference from EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. This is brought to you by Rise 25. We are the easy button for B2B podcasts. And I'm here with Patrick from Code and Trust. He is going to be speaking at this conference. And tell us a little about your company and what you guys do, Patrick.
Code and Trust develops software for entrepreneurs. So we have a ton of small businesses walk in the door every day and say, we're using maybe an Excel spreadsheet or some sort of manual process to manage something in their business. And they say, well, we could really develop software around this and make it much more efficient. And we put a whole team of software engineers thinking like entrepreneurs around making sure that that product is exactly what they need to scale and grow their business.
And you had an interesting one come to you where you had a consultant who was advising different police academies, police departments on marketing advice. And he came to you and you guys kind of helped him map out an app and actually create an app that took his knowledge and expertise kind of to the next level. So break that down for us.
Well, our real goal for him was to show him that right then he was in a consulting business selling his time. And we really shaped his tool into something that he could sell to the police stations now as a very scalable, innovative new tool that they would be paying for on an ongoing basis without him investing that time back into it. So really for us, that was our goal for him, was to help him create this product that now police stations around the United States are using to manage their social media posts, and they're doing it and paying him, and his business is really thriving because of this piece of software.
And one of the key distinctions or challenges that they experienced was the approval process, right? So they were afraid to share anything, afraid really to communicate with their local stakeholders, local communities, because they were worried about the approval process internally. So you baked that into the app. Talk about that.
Well, initially he came to us wanting an app that police stations would use to post on social media and really track that content and make sure that they were doing the right thing. And as we dove in and really looked at the entrepreneurial side of it and what police stations were willing to pay for, we found out that their biggest challenge was they needed multiple levels of approval for particular types of posts to ensure that even the chief had seen it in some cases before it went out, and to make that really easy on his phone, that he wasn't doing anything but glancing, looking at it, and improving. And so baking out that process and thinking through how that would work for them, our goal at Code and Trust is to make our clients really successful by making their customers really successful. We try to skip straight to who are they trying to help and really bake that in. And so we say that we think of ourselves as a preschool teacher, where preschool teachers, they want their kids to be successful. They want your kids to be successful. They just want everyone to be successful. And at Code and Trust, that's how we feel. We have our own software startups that we work on, and sometimes we'll take equity in other startups that we program. But a lot of times people are just paying us to bring our ideas and expertise to the table. And at the end of the day, all we get out of it is everything we want, which is they're successful and we're happy. That's our fulfilling moment.
And you are actually speaking here, so tell us a little bit about what you're speaking on.
So the three growth guys are here at the EO Global Leadership Conference, and we met at a Global Speakers Academy that the three of us really synced up and understood that, in my case, I normally talk about growing your business and how to scale and innovate and really find unique innovations in a marketplace. Chris Clover talks about how to grow yourself, and really as a business owner, once you've built a large company, it really does get to that place that you need some help to really figure out who you want to be and what your success metrics are for your own self. And then finally, Will Scott is the third growth guy and talks all about your relationships with your team and your family and how to really bring those folks into the fold with the values that you've created in those two other areas.
And for those watching this who are an EO member, maybe considering coming to GLC, what would you say to those who are watching this?
You have to come to GLC. I mean, it is so much fun to meet the people from especially other countries. How global it is my number one takeaway, but also the relationships you form to be able to work with people in every part of the United States, including our relationship and how much fun I've had hanging out with you, John. That to me is the reason to be here. The content is of course important and something that is worth the time, but the network and the ability to be with entrepreneurs that are in your tribe, that's the reason to be here.
Yeah. And finally, for those who want to learn more about you and Code and Trust, where can they go learn about that?
I'm on LinkedIn as Patrick Bryant in Charleston, South Carolina, and also, of course, codeandtrust.com.
Excellent. John Corcoran, we're live from Global Leadership Conference. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for listening to the Smart Business Revolution podcast with John Corcoran. Find out more at smartbusinessrevolution.com. And while you're there, sign up for our email list and join the revolution. Revolution. And be listening for the next episode of the Smart Business Revolution podcast.